This is about Carefree, the world's best surfer, chat. And I'm a little bit invested because Carefree, bro, of course, he trained me, he coached me on stream how to surf, which was fun as fuck. The #1 surfer in fucking, I think he has the most amount of world records in CS 1.6. Okay, keep that in mind.
Carefree currently holds 183 world records in Counter-Strike Surf, more than Levi and Roldar, two of the most famous surfers in history combined. This is more than a fifth of all available map records. As a
I need to mute in game.
consequence, Carefree is the only player in Surf to have more than 1 million total points. Not only does this surfer hold the #1 spot, he may do so forever. And despite all this, he has long been considered second to Levi. Caf is the unsung champion of gaming history, conquering one of the most difficult
Chat, who knows
game modes
Carefree?
ever.
Type 1, who knows Carefree? I'm really interested. Before this video, who knows him? Literally the most legendary surfer, most records. 1v1. Ah, okay.
Created. And here is the story of the greatest surfer of all time. But what is surfing? For the uninitiated, surf is a movement game. Think Mario, Mirror's Edge, or Trackmania, except the road is triangles, and you are a soldier in the shape of a T. You use your mouse, primarily, and keyboard to point yourself in the exact correct direction
Fucking
and
love
maintain
surfing.
your momentum. Slamming into ramps is bad, just like slamming into anything is bad. But there is absolutely no aim assistance of any kind. The amazing surf you see here is exact inputs from the mouse, and occasionally what we call turbines. The surfer's goal
Chat,
is
there's a game mode called Surf something. It's like where a map is out of ramps, and it's like you play like deathmatch or something. And I've seen combat surf, yeah. And there's like a tournament. Should I do one of those? Either do a tournament or join a tournament? That could be so much fun. It's kind of like how, you know, Ludwig just out of nowhere took a sport like chess boxing and made it kind of like, you know, put it on the big screen. We could do that with combat surf. It looks very, very interesting.
to get to the end of the map, often as fast as possible, and Carefree is a surfer. His story begins in Australia in February 2015. He and his friend planned to both build PCs and play together, and then his friend ditched. Nonetheless, Caf found CSGO and very soon after discovered surfing. It instantly became his favorite game, and little did he know within 2 years he would have his first world record. And like almost all other surfers, Carefree began his surf career on a server. Lobbies where you played a surf map with other players, often run by an organization. His career started on an Australian server called VG.
Hey, don't put this on YouTube!
Definitely existed, and his residents were definitely Australians, and that's it. He soon moved on to ZTS, which had a burgeoning competitive community. Both of these would have been smaller servers, with less developed records and few of the plugins we have today. And Carefree's first surf memory is back in early 2015, beating Surf Mesa Mine. Not Mesa, which is much easier. This map would surprisingly foreshadow—
I was about to say, because I beat the easy one. Ah, shit. I was about to stop and say, I beat this one as well. Did I beat this one? I don't think so.
Carefree style on tighter, more technical maps.
Oh, yeah, I
This is the period of Caf's career where we have the least information, during which his skill exploded, quickly rising to the highest tier of maps at the time, Tier 6. He remembers his first Tier 6 being Surf Royal, mostly because the last stage was kind of broken and easy to beat. But unfortunately, all the records on ZTS are long gone, lost to time. At some point, Carefree discovers and decides to switch servers, from his humble ZTS to KSF, which at the time and to this day remains the most competitive surf server in the world, partly because of his favorite streamer, Trufflecopter, who inspired many others to do the same. The first time he ever connects to KSF is September 22nd, 2015. His first recorded personal best is on Surf Blub, not too good of a map. And after that, he sets 150 personal records in 1 year. The only way to get points in Surf is to beat maps or bonuses. For example, a Tier 3 map awards 81 points, but faster times get more points, and a world record can grant more than 2,000. He's actually getting quite a few records in this time and getting higher on the server's leaderboards. However, on October 31st, 2016, Carefree gets his first official world record on Surf Antimatter V2. Getting a world record on KSF would put you leagues above most surfers, yet Caffrey got very little recognition for this record, only receiving an upload to YouTube by Fluxion326. See, not all world records are equal in surf. Some are considered better than others. Decent world records would have been uploaded by Warble and later Crealington, but the best world records were uploaded to KSF Records. So, for example, Antimatter V2 would have only been out for a year and a half. New maps have less time spent on them with less developed records, but the makings of a good surfer were there. Caffrey takes the correct route.
Have you surfed before? Type 1 if you did. I really want to know. Have you ever? No! Let me rephrase that question. Have you ever? No, that's fine. Yeah, have you ever surfed before? One more. Wow, everybody.
With most skips and cuts landing directly on the doorways to each stage, aptly called a direct end. And he took the world record from Nyanas, who at the time was considered much better. In 2017, Caffrey hits rank 1 on KSF CSGO. He's not as well known, but he's quickly becoming a much better surfer. Then, in late 2017, things go a bit dark. Caffrey gets just 3 temporary world records that year,
That's it?
like this run on skill 8. But just a day after the new year, January 22nd, 2018, Caffrey gets his first upload to the legendary channel KSF Records for his world record on Surf Me. This marks the beginning of Caffrey's unprecedented rise. He began to get multiple world records a month, many of which would be uploaded by surf creators, and apart from Surf Me, there was a trend in his records. Caffrey got almost exclusively max velocity maps. So, for max velocity, in surf you go down on a ramp to gain momentum from gravity. The speed limit for this is 3,500 units per second, most of the time. And every map has a speed limit. It's just that some maps will never allow you to reach that speed limit before the end. For example, Surf Beginner. On max velocity maps, it is suboptimal to go any lower on a ramp than necessary. As you're falling, you won't gain any more speed. While this can make some boards easier, it also puts emphasis on a specific style of surf, cuts and better routing. Surf Tensile, Surf Reprise,
No rain at Blast? Are you fucking taking the piss? I will check afterwards, remind me.
Surf Diamond Beta, Surf Eternal Beta. All of these maps had this feature. Caffrey had an expertise and took advantage of it. And in 2018, he had 19 of his world records uploaded to YouTube. And around the same time in 2018, another surfer is starting to pick up a lot of steam, who is the master of these fundamentals. That surfer is Levi. See, Levi was also from Australia and was relatively young for a surfer, just 15 when he entered his first tournament. But Levi got his world records on some of the most competitive maps, Surf Air Control, Surf Goliath. He would go on to get Surf Mesa and Surf Cyberwave,
I think Levi is cheating.
2 classics, and he would eventually be the first to beat Surf Corruption, the hardest map upon its release.
Jesus.
A prodigy tearing into the scene, a sign of pure genius. But Caffrey was everywhere else. Caffrey's reach is immense. He had the world record on every classic map. Surf Fruits, Surf Summer, Surf Christmas, Surf Sinsane 2. Overgrowth, which is Summit 1G's favorite map, and Overgrowth 2, which ends up being one of Caffrey's most famous records to date. And from the start,
Summit
it is
surfs? I didn't know that.
striking. This is one of the great records that really furthers Surf's aesthetic status.
Oh my God,
What's behind this amazing display is carefully spent time. Caffrey practices the individual stages, the transitions between stages, and then goes for full runs, taking just shy of 48 hours in zone. This is what it takes to run 5 minutes of surfing and take 5 seconds off the previous world record holder. And it gained 120,000 views for the effort. One of his other ridiculous runs is on Surf Looks Modern. See, this was one of the hardest maps in the game for a long time, and very few people had ever beaten the map without failing.
I beat this one, I think.
But there was a theoretical best run at the time, with multiple unattempted skips, but no one dared to attempt it. First, the Stage 1 skip. Where Travelcopter uses this ramp, Caffrey goes directly to the next, under a tight head check. Then Travel limps into Stage 2, while Caffrey flies into the next section. And on Stage 4, where Travelcopter, Caffrey's idol, had used the ramp below this ring, Caffrey skips by going straight through this tight gap.
He's a fucking inventor, bro. That's so crazy. Like when I try to beat a surf map, I look at the world record and then I just redo what they do. I don't think about going a different route. I only think, oh yeah, there's only one possible route. Carefree, that's crazy. 3 different routes compared to the old world record.
Whilst keeping a ton of speed into the next stage. These strategies were known and had been used to get
I don't have the world record mindset yet.
individual stage times, but never in a real run. Caffrey hits it. By this time, Caffrey had already hit rank 1 on KSF. He would be the last player to ever hold that title, and in historic fashion, he claims the spot, his final few points on a pretty famous bonus. His rank 1 video is viewed 120,000 times as he further etches himself into surf history.
Damn.
One more map that Caffrey wanted to show you before his crowning achievement is Surf Tundra V2, because of how much he had to contest to keep it, and how good the world record was as a consequence. This was actually one of the first world records he took back in 2018. Back then, it wasn't nearly as competitive. A long Maxwell smooth map with less notoriety, and then Koosh, who'd hold rank 1 on KSF before Caffrey, takes it on April 17th, 2019. Caff then responds that August, taking the record back. Caffrey thought his record was pretty good. It was a long Maxwell map that focused on good routing, his specialty, until one of the most consistent and smooth surfers to ever live, Emil, steps into Caffrey's territory. In March of 2020, Emil takes the record by half a second, a lot for a world record, and Caffrey is deflated. He believes he'll never be able to reclaim his record because of who took it. But one day, 6 months later, he gets a little motivation to try, and Caffrey realizes that he has an advantage. He has a more consistent and faster stage 3. So he grinds, bringing his total time on the map to 40 hours, and he gets a run on stage 3 so strong that the individual stage time is only 0.06 off of the world record.
Bro, I've
nearly
watched
beating the world record checkpoint while
I've watched Caffrey stream before, and it's crazy, like how he over analyzes every single bit out of a map. It's like it's the same as in KZ. Do you remember when I played KZ? I put a checkpoint after every jump, and he puts like a checkpoint, and then he goes 1,000 times over the same fucking like slide or whatever, tries to make it perfect. One time, thank you for the 18 months in Siberian, thank you.
In run. Only he and Emil had ever run the stage that fast. And now, the culmination of all Caff's efforts is one of his finest achievements. On July 14th, 2021, Caff beat the world record on Surf Erir, a lesser-known Tier 4 staged map, and achieved what no other surfer has, and what no other surfer may ever do. Amassed 1 million points on KSF servers, nearly 200 world records, hundreds of top 10s and completions. What differentiated Caffrey from all other surfers was his ability to put in the work, his determination to become number 1. So why did Levi ultimately capture the public eye? Why?
How does it work? So you get points for having a world record, right? So you can lose points as well, chat? Else people could just point straight, right? Like, this guy gets a world record, and then if you lose a world record, if your time get beaten, you lose those points, right? Yeah? Okay.
Why is Levi considered the greatest of all time over Caffrey? A lot of it comes down to time. While Caffrey likely has around the 10,000 hours it takes to master a skill like surf, Levi is reported to have only 3,000 hours of experience. Despite this, Levi competed on a lot of competitive maps and had the most unbeatable records, but less records, a lot less than Caffrey. Caffrey would end up with 183 world records at his peak, and 263 times in the top 10 of each map on top of that. Out of the 774 maps available on KSF, he has a world record, or top 10, on 440.
Nah!
57% of the entire pool.
What the fuck? Bro, his whole life is surfing. Does he make money with surfing? He has to, right? Bro, was? This is his life to him, but how do you make money by surfing? Surely? I guess he streams, right? Streams on YouTube, I guess? No way he's studying nearby. He's the surfer. Number 1 surfer.
Spent 7,300 hours surfing. Mind you, that is what it takes to become an expert at anything. What separates Caff from everyone is his unmatched determination.
Fuck, man.
And Caffrey was rewarded handsomely for it. A lot of what makes Caf so revered is what he did beyond the game. Caffrey organized 3 amazing tournaments, each called Surfs Upside Down. These were
sick.
pivotal moments in the surfing scene at the time, and drew a ton of interest at the top level of play, especially because of who was organizing it. Every single round of this is available on his channel to this day. And he built an enormous Twitch channel, garnering 14,000 followers and quite a bit of money through hundreds of streams. This is actually one of his proudest achievements, and he's continually grateful to have such an amazing community. Then, Caffrey was interviewed live by the folks at ESL in between their matches. It was a pretty long segment in front of tens of
remember this.
thousands of people. He taught this lady how to surf on Surf Utopia. He answered some questions about his career, which he was embarrassed about in hindsight, and overall exposed surf to a lot of people. Then, this summer, he did one of the coolest things in his career, streaming live with ohnePixel and teaching him how to surf.
Bro, what the fuck?
It's really rare for surf to get decent exposure from CSGO creators, and Caf stepped up to the plate, leading to this amazing moment.
Flick.
Yes! Yes! Oh my! After like, I think this was world record. What's my time right now? 1 hour 60 minutes. And I think I rejoined the server, so I was like 3 hours in. I think on Surf Kitsune. It is what it is.
Because of the current state of surf, Caffrey is likely to remain
He's a great teacher. That's all I want to say.
rank 1 for the foreseeable future. The sacrifices necessary to do this are too high for most. Yet, you will never ever hear Caffrey bragging about his accomplishments.
True.
He is one of the most humble and kind competitors on the scene.
True.
And with that, I'd like to thank him for all the work he's done for this video and for the community. If you're interested in learning more about Caf, check out the interview that served as the foundation for this, and consider subscribing for more surf content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, good luck sliding those triangles.
Bro, Caffrey's a cutie, man. He's a good guy, bro. He's a good guy. Chat, that stream, if you remember, that stream was fucking nice. Leave Raps some love.
Holds 183.
W fucking edit, W fucking video on Caffrey. That's nice. That's nice. #1 world surfer. Chat. And people saying, I remember we did the stream together with Caffrey, but then everybody said, oh, Levi #1, Levi #1. How's Levi #1? Sure. He may have achieved more in short time, but is Munizi is fucking what? He was 16 years old and he was crazy. Is he the #1 of CS? No. Smell me? It's still gonna be somebody like Simple. I think. I don't know. I would consider, I don't know, Caffrey still #1.